Are you looking for a way to help your brick-and-mortar business drive more traffic and increase your sales? Look no further than the Receipt Paper Podcast. In this podcast, Joanne and Kyle provide their sage advice on how to make your brick-and-mortar store the hottest spot in town. Whether you're just launching a new business or trying to grow an existing one, these informative episodes will leave you inspired. In each episode, Joanne and Kyle take on a different topic related to running a successful business. They offer practical tips based on their own experience as owners of multiple brick-and-mortar locations. So whatever challenges you're facing, they have actionable advice for you. From finding a location and executing your build-out, to merchandising and customer experience, to sales and marketing, Joanne and Kyle have you covered. With helpful advice from these experienced entrepreneurs, you are sure to learn how to increase your sales and have your business running out of receipt paper in no time. Let's dive right in.
Welcome back to episode number 23 of the Receipt Paper Podcast. My name is Kyle Strubing. I am here sitting next to my business partner, my life partner, and now wife partner, Joanne Strubing. Jojo, baby, how you doing?
I am good. I'm a wife now. That's pretty cool.
You are. You like how I did that? Switched up the intro for you?
That was the first time. I love it. It's still weird hearing my new name, but I'm loving it. It's great.
Yeah, so the last couple weeks, for those of you who feel like we've dropped off the face of the earth, we did get married a couple weekends ago, and then we went on our, you can't see this, we went on our honeymoon, which included us going out to Colorado. There's a very special place that we go to in Colorado that's just, we just look forward to it. And it's kind of, we like to go there once every year. So we went out there and kind of ate too much cereal and took a ton of naps with the dogs and just rested and rejuvenated, not only post, the wedding, which was unbelievable and it was exhausting, but we just it's a good time for us to rejuvenate and find ourselves for that end of the year push. I'm sure, as everybody knows, with retail, that's where we make our money.
Yeah, September is always like a slower month right before the crazy holiday craze, but it was great. Colorado's great. We're still trying to get motivated now that we've been back, but our wedding was, every little girl's dream in my mind. So I loved it. Loved every minute.
Yeah, the wedding was epic. Low drama, all that good stuff. It was a ton of fun. It took us, we got back last Monday, and I feel now finally this week I'm in the swing of things. We are right now at the store. We are mid rebrand right now. So there's a lot of sawdust. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of paint smells and all that stuff. But yeah, it's been pretty crazy.
Yeah, I'm super excited about this rebrand. So our franchise agreement ended. We've been in business for 5 years, and we decided to go in a different direction and lead with our services. And so I'm sure we'll be doing a podcast episode talking about exactly what steps we took to rebrand, because it has been a great learning experience on what exactly all you need to do. It's almost like reopening a business again.
It is, yeah.
But a little easier.
Yeah, I feel like we're opening.
You got the basic.
I feel like we're opening another store.
Yeah.
Really. There's, furniture and some special things being rebuilt. We're rebuilding the counter. We're just.
You got to get new business cards.
Well, true, but I'm also excited about it, and I know this isn't what the episode is about, but I'm excited about it because we're now building it. Having lived essentially in this building now for 5 years, we can build it to how we want it.
Yeah.
And then I feel like we have kind of some of the skills and the things to know what we need and what we don't need. So it's going to definitely run a lot more efficient for sure.
So if you've been in business a while and you've been considering a rebrand, keep an eye out. We'll be sharing our learning lessons and best practices once we wrap this up. But let's get to today's topic.
Before we do, I definitely want to shout out Tap Mango. Tap Mango is our rewards / loyalty program. Like I say every episode, it is the number one service that we use or product that we use at the store as far as ROI is concerned. And that's how we measure everything. What do we get bang for the buck? Dollars in versus dollars out, and Tap Mango is the number one. So go check out Tap Mango at Master Brick N is in Nancy, Mortar, croissants.com/tapmango. They'll hook you up. And like I said, we don't talk about stuff that we don't use.
Yeah.
We don't talk about stuff we don't use.
Love them for loyalty and rewards. Absolutely.
And all the functionality on the back end. But now, before sorry about cutting you off, wanted to get that in there. Go ahead and why don't you tease today's topic for us, babe?
No, I'm glad you did. So today we're talking about the croissant theory.
Croissant, or how do you pronounce that? Croissant?
Croissant theory. I'm sure you've all heard of it. I'm just kidding. I had never heard of this. So
Yes.
this actually came to us. My dad has been intrigued by what we're doing here with the podcast, and he sent over an article and it was talking about this theory. So I started diving in and doing more research, like what the heck is this? So it's basically a concept that takes the analogy between scarcity strategy used in businesses and the way croissants are baked in small batches. So typically croissants are made in a small batch that create a sense of rarity and desirability. You want to get to the bakery before they run out of croissants. You know, there's a limited quantity each day that creates this exclusivity, and it in return increases demand, right? So businesses can apply a similar principle to products and services. So even if you're not selling at a bakery, this isn't about just baked goods. So hang with us. Any product or service you can use this strategy. And I think it's really interesting when Kyle and I started talking, and we're going to dive into this on why it works so well is what we're going to talk about, and then some ways that you can do this. We started talking about ways that we're already doing this, and maybe we should focus a little bit more on them.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, within us, we definitely want to create that scarcity. It's almost like on the phone on the weekends when people try to book the day of, right?
Yeah.
You're like, I'm not mad. Like everybody's like, well, can I get in? Can I get in? And I was like, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like, and at first I was like, well, maybe we need to add 7,000 more tanks and da. No.
Yeah.
This is what we do. This is at this level, and there's different elements to this, but at this level, this is how we can hit our product at 1,000%, knock it out of the park, because we're not trying to help everybody, but it does, and we'll go into how it builds that.
The value instantly goes up because
yes.
they're like, wow, this many people want to use this service. This must be a great experience, right? Yeah.
Right. And I'm 100% proud to tell people the day of that. No, I can't get you it. Yeah. 3 float tanks to come in now?
Good problem to have.
No, good problem to have. Yeah, for sure.
So when we're talking about the context of business, the croissant theory basically involves deliberately creating the impression of scarcity around your product or service. So this will generate consumer interest and drive your sales. So essentially, we're talking about positioning an offering as limited availability or limited quantity, limited service offerings, so that you can tap into that psychological impact that prompts customers to perceive more value.
Right, for sure.
So let's talk a little bit first about why this works psychologically, and then we're going to dive into some ideas and ways that maybe you can implement into your business.
So I'll take number one, because honestly, I can kind of relate to it. Number one is a scarcity effect. That's going to be when people believe that something is scarce or in short supply, they tend to place a higher value on it and are more motivated to acquire it quickly / immediately. The limited availability triggers a sense of urgency and the fear of missing out, whichever we now call FOMO, right? So immediately right now, when I see number one, we live in Texas, barbecue, right? Right? Yeah. So it's, and now I don't, I know we have a lot of people all across the world listening in, but so with barbecue, a lot of places here in Texas, people, they are open, like people's posted hours are open until they run out, right? So if you go to like one of the big time places like Pecan Lodge, Terry Black's, I could go on forever and ever. There's no like closing hours of, and people line up 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. Not even knowing if they're going to get it. But they make a point and they camp out. And it's honestly, not to get off the rails once again, but it creates this scarcity, but also creates this community as people are lining up and waiting for people they're in their lawn chairs and they're drinking beer and they're having it. But knowing that it's going to sell out and knowing how good of quality it is, it just makes people insane for this
Yeah.
barbecue
Yeah.
for sure. So number one for me is big, and it's something that I definitely relate
Yeah.
to. Is definitely the scarcity
Yeah.
effect.
I love it. That's a great example. So number two as to why this psychologically makes a large impact on your consumers is the exclusivity factor. So the perception of exclusivity is a strong motivator for consumers. When a product or service is presented as rare or only accessible to a select group, it appeals to customers' desire to stand out or be a part of an exclusive circle.
Sure.
So this one, what comes to mind for me is back in the day, I actually used to work at Dillard. Shout out to the shoe department. Uh, but they had a members or like if you were part of their rewards or members program,
Right.
they had specific hours that you could come and shop the sales that nobody else could. So like once a quarter, they would have like 3 hours beyond when they close. And I was always amazed by the amount of people that came in and they shopped. I think they got even additional discounts on top of that, but they felt like a part of this exclusive group. And that exclusivity like prompted them, oh, I want to go shop when nobody else can, right? Even though it was like the same clothes were there for them as a non-member,
Mhm.
but yeah, it really motivated people to come in because it felt like an exclusive experience. So I love that one.
For sure, for sure. Number three, um, for the psychological effects is going to be social proof. Social proof is the idea that something is in demand because it's scarce, and it creates a form of social proof. People are more likely to want something if they believe others want it too. I love this. There's different ways psychologically. I get super interested in how you want to elevate yourself within the society. And as you notice that people there's certain like laws of attraction and stuff like that. And I'm not talking like hoarding or whatever, but I'm just talking like even social dynamics of this social proof that people want to be there. You want to be with that in crowd. And it kind of elevates you and people want to kind of go with that as well. And it creates this buzz. Whereas, like there's a reason why some people have that gravitas or
Yeah.
things of that nature. That's what that is, and that applies in
Yeah.
this as a business, if that
Mhm.
makes sense. So the social proof is fantastic.
Yeah.
And you kind of it's like clout, really is what it boils down to.
Yeah, it's
It's
like
called.
reviews. I mean, that's
Right,
what reviews is social proof,
right,
or when I see on Facebook like that, like 100 people are commenting saying, "Oh yes, like Sarah's haircut was amazing. You got to
right,
use Sarah." I'm like, "Well, dang, I want to use Sarah. Like that's
right.
awesome." So having that to back up is yeah, powerful.
Absolutely, absolutely. So you want to go to number four?
Yes, number four is anticipation. So this really applies to things like limited time releases, exclusive offerings, really building that buzz before something becomes available. The anticipation can lead to increased attention and engagement. So for this, I think it was about a year ago, I had a bunch of friends who were a part of an MLM. It was a specific one, and they all did an incredible job at marketing this new product that was launching. They had me so excited that I wanted to buy the product before, like 6 months before it was even launching. But I don't think it was quite, I think it was like 30 days before it was launching. But they started promoting it and the benefits, and oh my gosh, this is going to be released, but it's going to be a limited quantity,
Right.
so buy now. And the anticipation was like, oh my gosh, when is this product going to become available? But I remember thinking like, you know, that we should be doing this at our physical business, just like they were doing it for online. But they did a great job, and I could really see the impact of that anticipation.
Which we do,
Yeah.
I think. We do a great job because now I'm starting to notice we run our biannual sale and people are starting to, and they know that it's coming.
Yeah.
They know that it's coming. So I'm not saying float sales are down, but people are waiting to make those substantial purchases where a lot of times they'll just, because we run this deal and like they spend
Big money.
big money, and it works very well for us. But that anticipation, and I would also say with this too, under anticipation is consistency too, right?
Yeah.
Of doing these things so that people know
Yeah.
that it's coming, and people
So
they
true.
kind of get the process. that you can kind of build up and get it there.
Such a good point. I think with all of these ideas and strategies, you have to do them like you can't just do them one time
Right.
because it, people got to see it day in and day out. Like every day there's a limited quantity, or every month there's an exclusive members discount, or every 6 months you get anticipation around a big
Sure.
sale. Like so, yes, absolutely. That's such a good point. So, in croissant theory, this strategy can be applied to you whether you're selling products or services. However, it's important to use this strategy ethically and authentically. I just want to give that caveat here. I don't want anybody to use this to mislead or overuse scarcity as a way to lead customers. That can lead to customers distrusting you and damaging your brand's reputation. Sometimes I see things like that are kind of on the edge, like, oh, we only have 10 spots available
Oh my
for
gosh.
this
People still run those
for
ads?
this deal. Like you'll see them on Facebook.
Oh,
I understand the sense of urgency, but it's very clear to me they're selling more than 10 spots. And, I just think you got to stay ethical, right?
right.
Around it.
Yeah. And I think authenticity is the key there. And I, I don't know. It's, you have to kind of play the game and you have to only buy for that and do what you say and say what you do as well. It's like, and then you also want to be careful too. Like, don't run the same deal a week later, guys. Like, that's not the easy way to shoot yourself in the foot. So, yeah, that is definitely that's a big thing.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Okay, so now that we put that caveat, the croissant theory is basically a way to market and capitalize on your natural human responses. So this allows your business to create excitement, boost sales, and cultivate a loyal customer base by making your offerings appear more valuable and more exclusive than your competitors. So next, we're going to talk about 5 different ways that we think that you can implement a scarcity strategy at your business. So some of these are going to be for products, some of these are going to be for services, but let's just dive in. You might be able to see one that piques your interest
Sure.
that you can implement into your business. You want to kick us off with number
Yeah.
one?
So number one is going to be limited edition products. Introduce a limited edition version of your product. And also make it only available for a short period of time, right? So this could be, special color variants, maybe a unique design or some collab with another brand. Promote them as exclusive and only available for a limited time. I do this with merch all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And people are like, "Ooh, where'd you get that hat?" I'm like, "Oh, that bad boy is a limited edition.
Yeah.
You can't have this, my man." And they're like, "Well, that's cool. That looks cool." I'm like, "I know." But what it does is it creates a buzz and it's
Yeah.
something different. It doesn't look like the same standard thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a big sports merch guy and I'll see something, I'm like, oh my gosh. And like, I just gotta have it. And it's almost in the challenge and the chase to obtain this. And this
Yeah.
isn't anything new, right? But it's something that, and you guys know, but it's just there for you to use and something cool, something that you thought might be off the wall, or and it doesn't have to be insanely crazy, right?
Yeah.
It could just be a slight little touch,
Yeah.
something different that is like Jojo said, it is very limited.
Yeah. And this won't work for every product-based business, but if you custom make your products, consider adding a limited edition. I mean, we had a product that we recently, it was a new product that just the box changed. It said
Yeah.
signature on it rather than just the regular
Yeah.
one. And I mean, it really piqued people's interest. What is the signature one?
Right.
Just if you just have the little branding change and people, it will spark some interest
And
there.
now it's one of the best sellers. I mean,
Yeah.
cream,
Yeah.
what we're talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, now it's just a better product.
Yeah.
And the fact that we went through and just made something different or new to try to shake it up, it's just friggin'
Yeah.
better.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
Now it's not as limited, but yeah, you
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So number two is also in line with what we're talking about here, but this is more seasonal based.
Right.
So I love seasonal products, especially if you're in the food industry,
Pumpkin spice
obviously.
everything.
Yes, but I mean, there's seasonal you can really implement everywhere. I mean, we sell supplements and vitamins and CBD, as you know. So some of our CBD products, they had some pumpkin spice versions, and every year people want them, I mean, so yes, there's seasonal items, or even like, obviously just what are people attracted to in the fall, whether it's warmer clothes or candles, teas, what's some seasonal stuff that you can sell that always like capitalizing on that, the season and what's top of mind for people can help drive people into your store and obviously, of course, increase your sales too.
Yeah, for sure. But I think of the coffee that we drink. What is it? That Magic Monk or whatever coffee
Well,
that comes.
Mystic Monk
Mystic Monk
coffee
coffee. They
with
make
that
like a
coffee.
Christmas blend, and it's fantastic. We
Yeah,
look
we get
forward
it
to it.
every year.
And I have to wait until that point in time.
Yeah,
Like in the
they
summer, it
only
just
sell
doesn't,
it.
and they
Yeah,
only sell it then. And we are
yeah.
like now. I've like
We'll
I
stock up on it for the whole year
Yeah, but I
sometimes.
also think about now, it's like, okay, cool. We're into October. It's going to be Thanksgiving before we know it,
Hmm.
so it's like, ooh, Mystic Monk coffee.
Yeah,
Like, so
yeah,
it's something that's the small stuff that you look forward to,
yeah,
and then it goes away. And when it's, February, Valentine's Day, we're kind of rationing it,
yeah,
and
yeah,
it's great.
yeah.
It is definitely, it's great. It works for sure.
Yeah, I
So,
love it. So yeah, this pumpkin spice effect, look for, seasonal items. You can, there's summer stuff that becomes more popular. Like, so look at your business and what products or services even could be seasonal offerings. Maybe people have dry skin in the fall and winter, so you want, a fall hydrating facial that's a limited time offering. So there's definitely things
Which
you
is
can do.
nice to know, right? Because it's like, well, what is the difference between this limited edition or the seasonal or whatever? If it's just branding, it's just branding. But it's nice, like you said, to kind of formulate these things. We were in GNC the other day, and it was like, well, what's the difference between this edition and this edition? And the girl couldn't really tell us the difference, and it was a very specific question. But the point is like it had to have something different.
Yeah.
If there was
So just
something,
the branding.
it was something to
Yeah.
back the change. If it was
Yeah.
something to back the change, you definitely want to do that. But yeah, for sure.
All right, number three.
Number three, VIP or loyalty programs. Offer a VIP or loyalty program where exclusive products, services, or discounts are only accessible to members. That's going to encourage repeat business and fosters a sense of belonging.
Mm.
So, Jojo talked earlier about Dillard's. That was fantastic. I had it with the rebrand yesterday. Was in Harbor Freight that we call it here.
Mhm.
And I bought something a year ago, over a year ago. I knew it was broken. I took it out. It was broken. It just sat in my garage for a year. But they have this membership deal where you get these exclusive pricing, but also I don't know if it just seems to me that they treat you different.
Yeah.
And right when you walk in, they ask for your phone number and they know, and I think I had to pay 50, $60 for it and it's for the whole year. But it's just an entirely different feel. And I don't know if this is good, bad, or indifferent, but this is simply just a thought or a way that they did this. And it was like no questions asked when I had to do this return. And you have access to different times where I can shop. They have access to it's just
Discounts.
discounts
Yeah.
and there's almost a two-tier pricing. But when I walk in that place, boy, my head's up. I'm like, I feel like I own the place, like I'm king of the castle, like I am a true
Yeah.
VIP.
Yeah.
That's just because of this, and it backed it for sure. So I have no like now. I love going in there now.
Yeah.
Before it just wasn't kind of like a little dingy, but now it's great. I feel like
Yeah.
king of the castle.
It really fosters that exclusivity
Yeah.
and like social proof and like I'll get texts about like from VIP programs or loyalty programs like you're a VIP, take an additional 10% off today. Like I'm like, oh, I want to go in and get my VIP discount. Like it really automatically just gives you that sense of
And I
exclusivity.
think there is a slight distinction between that and like even Tap Mango and stuff like that, as far as like a loyalty per se
I
program.
mean,
Like some of these VIP programs, like I know with Harbor Freight, you have to pay for.
yeah.
which makes sense. Which was, I mean, yesterday alone, I got all like 3x the value on it. So
Yeah.
it can be worth it. So just some things to kind of consider when you're looking to create that scarcity, and it figures out like what is this worth to these people as well. And not these
Yeah.
people, but your customers or the people that you deal with.
Yeah.
It definitely helps.
But even perks just for joining your loyalty program. Hey, join my loyalty program via Tap Mango, and you get these special discounts. You will be notified of these special discounts, and nobody else will. Like that's kind of how we position it. Like, other people, we don't tell just anybody that walks into our store that we're running 20% off of teas,
Right.
but if you're on our loyalty rewards program, we're telling you.
You probably came in because there were
Yeah.
20% off of the
Yeah.
teas, and that's what we're going
Yeah.
for. That's what we're going for.
So moving on to number 4, this one is for service-based businesses. But like Kyle said, with the membership, you really could do it with product-based businesses, but it's all about memberships.
Right.
If you are a service-based business and you are not offering memberships, I highly, highly recommend
You're missing out.
that you vet it out for your business. What would it look like? I mean, the memberships for business as a business owner is invaluable. I mean, you got somebody on a reoccurring subscription, half the people usually aren't using it, but I mean, it's incredible for your business. But also for a customer, it's extremely valuable to know, I have a membership at a massage place, and I know every single month that I have a massage, and it's going to encourage me to get in there and go use it because I know that I'm, automatically charged. But I also know that anytime I want to bring Kyle in for a massage, that I get that member discount. We don't have to pay 100. We only pay $60 for him to go in with me. But I also get an extra perk to use the sauna when I'm there. And, so there's just so many things that as a member, I um, feel that value, I guess, before being a member. And it definitely entices me.
Well, and it also becomes part of the customers, or at least for me, like the places that I have memberships at, I'm one of the people that uses the hell out of them, but it becomes part of your routine. It becomes part of
Mhm.
your life. It
Yeah.
become, working out or whatever, or my massage is vital to everything. I mean,
Yeah.
it just all kind of falls in line. I'm able to then, work out harder and more. It becomes part of your day to day and really entangled in your life, as opposed to, yeah, we went and did this. It was one experience. Cool. It was great. Yeah, it was fun. It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was great. But now you're effectively using the tool. You're using it as a tool. You are becoming a resource and just part of this person's life.
One strategy I love and we are about to do for our rebrand is a founding membership. So you really only have an opportunity to do this when you're first opening. So if you have not opened your service-based business, create a founding member strategy. You can actually start promoting your founding membership before you even open. And you only offer it for a limited time, but basically, let's say your membership is going to normally be $70 a month. So you offer your founding members maybe 45, $50 a month and say you will be locked in at this rate. This is the lowest rate we will ever offer, but you will never ever have to pay our normal membership price as long as you
Hmm.
don't cancel. So you get people increases that scarcity and exclusivity. Oh gosh, I got to sign up so I can be grandfathered in. But then they also don't want to cancel because they know if I do that, then I'm going to have to go back up to that normal rate of $70 a month instead of like 45 or 50.
Right.
So we're about to do it. I'm excited about it. We might have to share our results there, but I think it's a great timely thing to do with those limited. You can even say 100 if you only want to offer 100 of them. Maybe you want to lock yourself in there. And yeah, I think a very great thing to do if you're just opening.
Yeah, for sure. I'm excited to see how that does. I think that it'll, it's nice for you because you get that cash flow is really, really what it boils down to. And then the customers are able to get a significant discount. But these are also people that are going to come back to you,
Yeah.
and then we have our business struggle. I mean, obviously I could keep go 30,000 foot up, but like they're coming back into the store and buying other things.
Yeah.
Like people that are doing that, yeah, you give them a cheap service for the one thing, but They're going to be your advocates. They're going
Yeah.
to be
They're
your,
bringing in friends. They're
they're
telling
bringing
you
in
about
friends.
it.
They're buying other stuff. Every time they come in, we have people that are just like, oh, I need to get my gummies for the day. And it's like, cool,
And they're
so
staying
it's,
on as a member for a year when they
yeah.
might only come in 6 times. So,
And they're going to think twice about canceling too.
Yeah.
So it'll really help with retention too. So number five, that's the last one here as far as implementing scarcity. Limited number of spots available. We touched on this a little bit before. You've seen all that stuff before. I got 10 spots available for our 6-week stress release program, or $25 off for the next 10 customers or 2 appointments left today.
Those are some examples.
No, so those are some of the
Yeah.
things that we definitely did. We ran a stress release program, which was great. I mean, it was awesome. It worked very well for us. And we used that scarcity model, and, subconsciously, I think it makes people move. I really do. Is it, could it be seen as disingenuous? Yes or no? I mean, you have to realize that there are only so many hours in the day and you were very busy, and that's okay.
We truly only had 10 spots. So
That's also a true story. Yeah, we did.
we did a 6-week stress release program where we actually provide personal coaching, and
Right.
we only had enough time for 10 people. So, when we advertised it, it was the
Right.
truth. But yeah, that creates urgency. Oh gosh, I want to secure one of those 10 spots. And then, you can even go down from there. Okay, 5 spots left, 4 spots left. Like, just if you're doing the spots thing, I do encourage you to be honest.
Right.
But yeah. And then the other one, another example was like $25 off for the next 10 customers. I see this work really well with text blasts. Like, for the next 10 customers, get 50% off of your second product. And, again, stay true, but it gets people to come into your store, and take advantage of those sales.
For sure.
And then the last example was the appointments. I mean, if you are busy in your service-based business and you want to create that value, like, hey, I have two appointments left today, and people are like, oh man, I want to get in for one of those last appointments. And so don't be afraid. Jump in your social media on your stories, or even live, and in the morning, and say, hey, we've got 2 left. And I see this at bakeries a lot, actually, and they're like, got 2 cupcakes left. Anybody want them? And you're like, oh my gosh, I want them, and they probably, it creates this instant scarcity, right?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And you want what you want. People want what they can't have.
Yeah.
People want what they can't have. The unattainable.
Yeah.
And you're making it attainable for them, for sure.
So you want to recap?
Yeah, pretty solid list, babe. Number 1 is going to be offer limited edition products. We talked a little bit about that. Whether it be varying the color or something just a little bit different. Number 2 is going to be seasonal or limited time offerings. We love that. Talked about the coffee, talked about all that good stuff. Number 3 is VIP or loyalty programs. Billards, Harbor Freight, all that good stuff. Number 4 was memberships for service-based businesses. That might include a founder's membership, all types of different things. There's a ton of ways to do that. I mean, like you said, you could probably talk on an entire podcast on that. Number 5 is limit the amounts of spots available. Create that scarcity and stick to it. Stick to it for sure. For sure. But that's all 5 of them, top to bottom.
Love it. All right, so I encourage you to get out there and see how you can just add a little scarcity. Maybe it's through your social media posts, maybe it's through a full-blown promo, or maybe it's one of these strategies we talked about today. I think it can be really useful in your business. If you are looking for more ways to drive traffic to your business, we have a freebie for you. It includes 75 different ideas on how to drive traffic to your business so you can stay inspired. You can look at this list if you're having a slow day and pick something off of it and go implement it to drive some traffic. So you can find this free resource in the show notes at masterbrickandmortar.com/23. All right, babe, anything else today?
There's so much today. I've got to get to building the counter and furniture today. What's this entrepreneur 101 stuff? There we go.
We'll be back soon, friends. You can always DM us on Instagram with questions. Always happy to help, and we'll see you next week.
See you guys.
Thanks for tuning in to the Receipt Paper Podcast, your go-to source of information for starting and growing a successful brick-and-mortar business. Subscribe to hear future episodes and share this content so that more people can access these valuable insights. If you're looking for more resources to help you with your brick-and-mortar business, visit masterbrickandmortar.com or follow us on Instagram at masterbrickandmortar. Thanks again for listening to the Receipt Paper Podcast. We'll see you in the next episode.